Hey guys, what's up? Internet Marketing Redneck coming to you from North Carolina. And by the way, the tank's in the background. I am at work, so it's alright. I'm at work. That's what that's for. So anyway, so do you suffer from a fixed mindset? Well, they have pills for that. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't take pills. There's no pills for mindset. The pill is actually in your head already. You just don't know about it. But real quick, I gotta tell you a story. A couple years ago, I used to have a real good job. I got a house payment, got a truck payment, I had a boat, I had another truck, and I lost my job. And I didn't work again for 2 years. And from the time that I lost my job to that 2 years, I became depressed. I became alcoholic, like clinically depressed. I mean, I was ready to just give up. I didn't care no more. And one day I was drinking, I was drunk, and I came home and I just sat in my bed and cried. I looked back at the last 2 years at how I wasted them, because my mindset never changed. I never grew. I just basically stayed the same that I was 2 years ago. I was in that exact same spot, but even worse. So if you're in any predicament like that, that's what this video is all about. I had to change that. You'll never know now that I was depressed, so I had to work on it. So the number one thing I have for changing your mindset into a growth mindset is take responsibility for everything that's happened in your life. I don't care if you lost a job, you lost a girlfriend, your dog died yesterday. I mean, take responsibility for it. That's the only way we can move forward, and forgive those people. So if you lost your girlfriend, forgive her. If you lost your job, forgive that boss. It might not be your fault, but take responsibility anyway, because that's the only way that you can move forward. Because if you're not, you're still dwelling on the past. You're still basically going backwards. All right, number 2. Don't take criticism personally. So I got started in the business also a couple years ago. It was after depression, but I got started in the business. For the life of me, I could not get leads, I could not get sales. And the one person I want to make proud was my dad, because for so long my dad had been taken care of. Like, if I didn't have money, I'd just go to my dad and get it. But I wanted to make my dad proud. I want to get through with that. I want to be over with it. I didn't want to borrow no more money. I wanted to create my own life. So I got started in the business. I finally learned how to generate leads and sales. I generated over 600 leads in 1 week. And I got my first commission. First commission was only $15, but that was the best commission that I ever had, because it's not the money that I cared about, but now it was real. So I went to my dad, I said, look, I finally made money online. I finally figured this out. And he said, well, come back to me when you have a couple more zeros behind that. He basically blasted my results. Like, it didn't mean nothing. And I took it personally, and I went and deleted all my leads. I didn't make any more money because I got rid of my leads. I deleted my website, I deleted everything. And then, it took me a long time to overcome that, and finally figured out that somebody's criticism doesn't matter. Who is somebody else to tell you what you can and can't do? You know what I mean? So don't take it personally. And if somebody's telling you that, that's just more fuel to the fire to move forward in your life. Okay? Alright, number 3. Read books. You have to read books. You got to be better today than you were yesterday. I read a lot of books. I read Think and Grow Rich. I have that, The 4-Hour Work Week. I got another Tim Ferriss book, Tools of Titans, that I'm reading now. I'm also reading I'm reading a whole bunch of books. I can't really remember what I'm reading, because I have one on Kindle that I'm reading. I have one on Audible that I'm reading, and I have one at home, a physical copy that I read. And I just kind of go, depending on where I'm at, that's what I read. So but I have at least 10 books on my bookshelf. I got a whole bunch of them in Audible, and I have a whole bunch of them on Kindle, and I just read and read and read. Because for one thing, I like reading, but for another, I like to learn. Because if I didn't learn, I wouldn't be standing here telling you what I'm telling you right now, because I wouldn't know it. So and if you don't have time to read, download Audible and listen to the book. And sometimes they're even better on Kindle, like Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. So much better on Audible than it is the physical copy. So do that. Podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Again, Tim Ferriss, Tom Bellew is a good one. Impact Theory. He interviews people, but there's also a session where you can ask him anything, and that's people from the audience, people from Facebook, YouTube, just a whole bunch of different sources of people to ask him questions, and he answers them, and he's pretty good at it. The guy, he reads a whole lot more books than I do, and I mean, I got a daytime job. It's kind of hard for me to listen or to read that many books, but I do have them on Audible. I don't right now. I'm by myself. I'm not really doing anything but painting some gas tanks, so it's easy for me to listen to a book or a podcast. I'm listening to a podcast right now when I get done with this video. So do that. And so podcast. One thing about podcasts is people that interview people is you get a lot of knowledge, because the person that they're interviewing, they've read a lot of books from different sources that you're reading, and when you get a whole bunch of them coming in, you're getting so much knowledge. And the person that's doing the interview, they've already interviewed so many people, and they've already read so many books. That's more knowledge that you're learning. And I listen to, there's days where I listen to 12 podcasts a day, and maybe 3 books a day, or whatever. When I have free time, that's what I'm doing. That's just what I like doing. And there's not a lot of people willing to learn as much as I am. So, of course, I grow a lot. So I hope that helps. Listen to podcasts. Don't take criticism personally. Read books. Watch YouTube videos also. And the whole point of this is to be better today than you were yesterday. And I promise you, if you do it every day, you will grow. And by the time a year is over with, you'll be so much further along than you would have been if you didn't do it. So I hope that helps. By the way, I created a group on Facebook. It's called Master of Growth. It's all about mindset, mostly. I mean, there's some business stuff in there too, like getting leads and stuff like that, but mindset is number one. So that's what I talk about nine times out of 10. So if you want to join the group, I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll see you again. I'll see you there, or I'll see you on the next video.